Hello everyone and welcome to another exclusive yoga session. This yoga session is recorded exclusively for Meditation Lighthouse by Nin Yoga. We hope you enjoy this yoga session.
Hello my friends, welcome to this Pilates class. This class we're going to be working the entire body, so I would recommend you have a bottle of water nearby, you get into something comfortable and come down onto your mat. Okay, let's get started. We're going to come to the top of our mat and then slowly come down to the floor and just connect here with our breathing, reminding ourselves of one of the core principles of Pilates. So here I'd like you to focus in on your abdominal area and pull your navel towards your lower back, engaging the core. And by doing this, by default, you'll begin to breathe into your rib cage. Just notice that sensation and try to keep that practice going throughout the class. Always just engaging your core. And now just check in on our pelvis. Check we're in neutral position. We don't want our hips to be going out to either side. We want to have our core engaged and our pelvis neutral. With that said, we're now going to begin to raise our left leg and then our right leg so that they're parallel with the mat in tabletop pose. Inhale here and just bringing the left leg down and then up, and then the right leg down and then up. So here, always checking in that you're not wobbling your hips in any way and that you're engaging your core, bringing the belly back towards the lower back. And now we're going to try some alternate moves. So bringing the left leg down and bringing the right arm over the top and then bringing back to center. Take it to the other side. Left leg down, right arm up. And we'll just alternate that for a few breaths. Inhaling at the top and exhaling as you bring the leg and arm down. And here we'll come into our first move. So here, peeling your neck off the mat, have the legs bent, and we're going to take the move called 100. So bringing your arms parallel with the mat and then begin to pump. Just checking here you're not bending into the neck and that you're balancing on your shoulder blades. And we're going to repeat this 100 times. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 40, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're halfway. And if you like, extra bit of this challenge, straighten your legs out. 80, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 90, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well done. That is a brilliant move for getting your blood circulating and engaging your core. You should begin to feel that now. The next move we're going to do is a roll up. So bringing your legs into a slightly bent position. Just move my microphone here. Into a slightly bent position. Bringing your arms over your head. Again, contacting your breath here, checking in your pelvis, and then exhale. I'll demonstrate this in full and do a few modifications afterwards. And then coming up slowly up into a seated pose, and then bringing your feet straight out in front of you, and then bending down towards your ankles. And you should feel that lovely stretch in your hamstrings. Coming up, arms up above you. Then exhale with control, coming down to the mat. Inhale, just take that in full, smoothly done. Exhale, coming down to your ankles. Now, if you have a bit of a problem getting up here, you can come down to the mat and maybe bend your legs slightly and grabbing hold of your legs as you come up. That might help you a little bit. Up to the top, then straighten your legs. Exhale, coming down. And if you can't come all the way down, don't worry, just bend your legs a little bit. So take 5 more of whatever variation of that pose suits you best. And just take 2 more here. It's really wonderful for your spine flexion, your hamstrings, and also obviously as you come up and down with control, it's good for your core. So eventually, even if you can't do this move in full, you will work towards being able to get a little bit better every time. I promise you, if you practice, you'll get there. Now, sitting up straight, we're going to come into a spine stretch. So bringing your feet out in front of you. Inhale, up to the sky. Exhale, and just repeat that move we did and roll up a little bit more. So here, just go a little bit deeper if you can. Then coming up, always keep the flow of the movement. Exhale, coming down. Just repeat this 3 more times. And before we move then on to our roll back. So for our roll back, come to the front of our mat, bending our knees slightly. And then we'll put our hands behind our thighs. And we're going to begin to roll back. One day, you might just be able to do the whole move in full. Coming up now, and we're going to take a move called Soar. So I'm going to move round to the side. You don't have to, depends on what space is around you. So opening up the legs to the side here, flexing your feet, bringing your arms to the side. Inhale and straighten that spine, and then if you can, bringing your left hand towards your right ankle, feeling that deep stretch, trying to keep your right arm up if possible. Exhale now and come down to the other side. So just move through this pose as much as you can. If you need to, again, bend your hamstrings, feel free to do so. Or maybe you come down to your knees and that works for you. I'm going to just repeat this a few more times, getting deep into the spine. And then coming up, and we'll come to the front of our mat again. And coming down onto the floor, we're going to take a bridge pose. So here, just connect with that breath again. Checking that your feet are a little bit closer maybe towards your bum than normally if you were to lie down like this. Check your feet are parallel and that your arms are on the mat. Inhale here, engage that core, keep that pelvis neutral, and slowly peel your spine off the mat, pushing your pelvis up towards the sky. And then coming back down again, slowly vertebra by vertebra, don't drop, you want to control. This class is all about control, and if you lose it there, you won't get the benefits of the practice. So just coming up and down, slowly and mindfully. Do not stretch it to your neck, just making sure that the pressure is going into your shoulder blades, and make adjustments if you feel that's right for you. And here, we're just going to begin to lift up the left leg here, and then pop out, straighten, down, replace. Lifting the left leg up now, pushing into your right foot, flex, point, down, replace. And we'll repeat that 4 times on each foot. Flex, point, down. Flex, point, down and try as much as you can to not let the pelvis drop. I know it's hard, but that's what we're aiming for in this exercise. Glutes are obviously working very hard, and this is also good for your core. And just one last time. Flex, point, and replace. Flex, point, and replace. Now moving in slowly to the floor, vertebra by vertebra. Now putting your hands behind your head, let the elbows drop out to the side. We're going to take some crisscrosses. So bring your knees up into tabletop and bringing the left elbow towards your right knee, straightening out your left leg, replace, coming to the center, and then taking it to the other side. And we'll repeat that 10 times. And just again here, if you need to place your head on the mat, please do so. Halfway. This is really good for twisting into your obliques and rib cage. Checking again that pelvis is neutral. Excellent. Come down. Come down onto the mat. Just take a breath here. And now coming onto the side. Come towards the right hand side, placing our forearm down on the mat and checking that our hips are stacked upon one another and that our feet are stacked and our shoulders. Inhale and then just let your feet hover off the mat here, and then I'd like you to lift up your left leg and replace, and just repeat that 10 times. So you'll feel this particularly in the left hand side of your hip. If you want to flex your foot, feel free to do so. And obviously, once you get more advanced in this, you might be able to place your hand on your hip. And that will require balance. Always visualize a glass of water, maybe balancing there. Replace now. Now bending your knees here, placing the feet or the heels in line with the tailbone. Just again, lifting your feet off the mat, and then open and close your legs or your knees here as we begin our oyster pose or clam. So here you'll again feel it in the hip. And we'll repeat this 10 times. Just inhaling as you come in, exhaling as you go out, opening up. And now we'll move on to the abductors, so bringing the left leg over the top, straightening out the right here, flexing that right foot. So here you can come onto your forearms or you can come down onto your hands on the mat like this, and then placing your hands on the mat, begin to lift up the right leg underneath. Just feeling that stretch in your inner thigh. And 2 more. And then exhale, coming up now, just come into a mermaid pose. So here, just have your right leg in front, and at your left leg should be about a 90-degree angle, and just loosen up your shoulder because you put a bit of pressure on it there. And then the other one. Inhale, coming up, and then coming over onto the other side, and we'll take it to the other side. So coming down this time to your left hand side, onto your forearm. Just checking here that everything is aligned. Placing your right hand down in front of you on the mat if you need to do so today. Hips stacked, feet stacked, shoulders stacked. Inhale to prepare, and then exhale, hovering the legs off the mat, and then flexing the right leg. Begin to do this 10 times. And then placing your legs on down onto the mat. And then bending your knees and having your heels in line with your tailbone. Checking your balance here. Then bringing your feet off the mat and then begin to open and close the knees as we take our oyster pose. And we'll repeat this 10 times on this side. Beautiful. And now coming over, bringing the right leg over this time. Again, option, you can come down onto your hands and begin to flex the right foot and lift up. Eight, 9, 10. Wonderful. Now just coming up here, again, we'll take that mermaid pose, left leg in front of the hips this time, and then right leg out 90-degree angle to your right hip, circling your shoulders, feeling that in, stretching up and over, and then stretching the other way. Beautiful. Now come down onto your mat. Going to take a double leg stretch, so this is a bit of a challenging one. Come down to your mat here and then placing your hands over your head and having your legs in the tabletop. And just here, placing our hands behind our head, let the elbows drop out to the side. We'll begin to kick out, lifting our neck off the mat and then coming back. Lifting up with our legs, coming back. Another way of doing this is to bring the hands over the head and then coming up, and then coming back. So we'll just take this 8 more times and do whatever variation suits you today. Inhale and then exhale. Now coming down onto the mat, we're going to take a roll over, so placing your palms flat on the mat here and have your legs out straight in front of you. Maybe some of you will need them bent. Inhale and then exhale, bring your hips up and over and then straightening out your legs, flexing your feet, pressing the arms down into the mat. Slowly, vertebra by vertebra, coming down, keeping the legs straight out in front of you, and then repeating that. Flexing the feet, coming down onto the mat. Just repeat that another 5 times. Flexing the legs, and then coming down. If you need to bring your feet to the mat in order to get this motion, that's absolutely fine. And the last one, flexing your feet and slowly coming down. Beautiful. Then just stretch here, stretching out. That's really good. That will have really woken up your spine today. Now come around to the front of your mat. I'm going to finish up with some push-ups just to exercise the front of the body. We don't want to leave that bit out. So bringing your hands underneath your shoulders and having your knees on the mat, and then bringing the elbows in, chest forward, and then pushing up. Repeat this 3 times. And then coming up, tucking the toes under, and we'll come into a downward facing dog. Stretch out through the hamstrings, and then returning into our press up. Maybe you can keep your legs straight as you come into plank on this position. And then come into downward dog. And we'll take this one last time. Stretching forward. You can do this. And then coming up into downward dog. And then walking our hands towards our feet here. We'll come up into a standing curl up to the top of our mat. And then come down onto the mat and we'll take a child's pose. Coming up into tabletop, we'll just take a few stretches in the spine, arching the back, lifting up the chin, opening up the chest, and then reverse that, arching the back here, tailbone in, head hangs low. Repeat that a couple of times. And then coming up into seated position. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that really woke up your body. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. See you on the mat again soon. Namaste.